Today we're going to be going over paw care with the summer season upon us. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we get started, I did have some announcements to make, mainly just one big one, and that is that I do have a website now. I've included the link down in the description below so that you can go ahead and check it out and find out all the ways to go ahead and get connected and plugged in our new community here. And you'll find out about the Facebook group that I have. We've got the YouTube channel, obviously, and then I have a Ko-fi profile as well, so you can go check that out. There will be a membership with the Ko-fi as well as the free content, and you can go ahead and help support and support pets in the process. So I encourage you to go check that out and see what we're doing there. I'm pretty excited about what's going to come and what this is going to grow into and how we'll be able to help lots and lots of pets in need. So please go check that out. So let's get started here with paw care. Miss Eleanor is going to be our model today. I'm not supposed to be biased, but I do feel out of my four she has the cutest paws, so that is what got her elected today. So we're going to talk about summer paw care in particular. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen the pictures floating around of the dogs that have taken walks on the really hot pavement or asphalt and the little burned, charred, little paw pads. I won't bore you with those pictures again. I'll spare you that. It's not a pretty sight. So one of the things that we want to work on is making sure that we are taking our pets out. Know what your temperature is, and you want to take them out in the mornings if you're going for a walk when it's cool out. Later in the evening is sometimes okay if it's cooled down enough. I know with it staying light longer, that is a possibility for an evening, like a late evening kind of a stroll for your pets. We're mainly going to be focusing on dogs today. That's my biggest, my most experience that I have is with dogs and summer paw care. So we'll touch a little bit on nails and that good stuff. But like I said, you want to go ahead and just make sure that you're timing your walks right. And it's not, you have to keep in mind too, it's not just the asphalt or the pavement or the sidewalks that are going to be hot. It's dirt, gravel, grass, artificial turf. All of these things get to a temperature that can be uncomfortable. Just think about if you would walk on it barefoot, how long are you going to be able to do that? Would you walk on it barefoot? They always have the hand test. Put your hand down on it. If you can't keep your hand on it, it's too hot. Then obviously it's too hot to walk your dog. I always say, think about, are you going to walk on that barefoot at that time of day? So it's just kind of a common sense thing, and just making sure that we're not asking our pets to do something we wouldn't do, because they'll do anything for us. They will go through that happily just because it makes us happy. And so to be good pet parents, guardians, and stewards of them, we need to make sure that we aren't asking them to be in an unsafe or hurtful situation. So that's kind of our responsibility to them, is to go ahead and make sure that we're letting them have their fun and have their days and get their exercise, but in a safe manner. So with that, I'll go ahead and get Miss L up here. We're going to talk a little bit about products and kind of go over some various things that you can use during the summer months, and some of them year round. One of the things is the boots. I don't have any boots, for an example. My girls don't use them, but a lot of people use the various boots for hiking and all of that, and it does give the paws a little bit of protection from the elements, particularly from rough and gravel roads. But I liken it to, they can still get hot or they can still get cold. Maybe not quite to the extreme where they're going to get burned, because they do have that little buffer there, but it can get uncomfortable for them, because just like if you've ever worn sandals out on a hot summer day and you're walking through that parking lot and you start to feel your feet get a little warm and you're like, oh, I'm glad I got into the store, I can kind of let my feet cool down a little bit. It's the same concept it can be for the dogs. If your dog does like the boots and you are active and doing hiking and all that great stuff, just make sure that you get some that are well fitted and have that proper fit for your pet, so that they can be comfortable. Just like us, ill-fitting shoes can cause blisters and sores and make that difficult for them to go out and enjoy their time with you. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around. We're going to talk about some products, then I'll show you the products and how to use them. So here's kind of my basic paw care selection that I have. We've got the nail clippers, a nail file. We've got some various paw balms that I've used. These are kind of my top 3. I've used several different paw balms over the years. These are the ones that I tend to like the most. They kind of made it to the top there. The only thing that I realized I don't have out here is the styptic powder or the quick stop for if you do the nail trimming. So you want to have something like that on hand in case you get a little too close to the quick and it bleeds a little bit. It's not a huge emergency, but put a little styptic powder on there. It'll stop it. Gives it a little bit of protection, and most of them have a little bit of a pain reliever in there, so it'll just make it a little more comfortable for your pet should you trim their nails a little too close. That would be the only thing that I would add to this for home care. A lot of groomers will use Dremels to smooth out the nails or to file them down instead of using the trimmers or the little hand files there. That I would recommend unless you are really comfortable with it. Leave that to the professionals and just do basic kind of trims, or just get, like, they used to have one called like a petty paw. There's all kinds of different ones out there. It's a very low Dremel, like a very soft one, so low speed Dremel is how I would describe it. And it has the little shield on there so that you're less likely to get your pet's hair caught in it, various things like that. The pet's less likely to lick it or sniff it and actually get hurt by the little sander itself. So, alrighty. So we will go ahead and talk about these a little bit here. So the first one we'll talk about here is this marshmallow paw balm. I really liked this one. It doesn't really have a whole lot of smell, as you can see. It's been well used. It goes on just like a chapstick would, you know, kind of same concept. Super easy to put on. It does tend to get a little soft, especially if it gets warm. So that was my only thing I didn't really care for with that one, and it tends to be just a tad on the greasy side, in my opinion, before it gets absorbed in. But otherwise, I'm really happy with it. Really like that one. The next is this line here. It's called Taro. It is a newer line. I actually picked it up about a year or two ago. This is their paw balm. They have since updated this to a paw and nose balm, which is awesome because if you have a dog that gets those little crusties across the top of their nose, their new one you can use for that as well. So it's really nice. This one is the same thing, chapstick style. It is a little bit bigger. This has a twist top, so you unscrew it to open it up. This one's really good if you have larger dogs. It also just covers the surface area faster, so if you have a wiggly dog, it'll help you go ahead and get that just kind of done a little quicker and moisturize those paws. My top pick right now that I'm really loving is this canine, this skin remedy. It is by a company called K-Leave Naturals. It is a smaller company here. It's made in the US in small batches. This one I really like because it let's see if it'll focus here. It does help with your dogs that have some allergy stuff. So it stops itching, scratching, and all of that kind of stuff on their feet and their little paws. You can also use this if they get little hot spots, things like that. Works really well. The other nice thing with that is, unbeknownst to me, a few nights ago, my girls, somebody got into one. It got on the floor. Somehow they got it. And they ate part of it. I don't recommend that you let your dogs eat this stuff. I was worried I was going to have some sick dogs, and to my surprise, nobody got sick. I was quite surprised. I thought for sure we were going to have some messy potties and maybe some belly aches, and luckily not. So I was like, well, that's kudos for them, because I've not had a product that, especially a paw balm, something that is has a lot of oils in it, not make a dog, you know, at least have some runny stool or a little bit of a belly ache when they get a hold of it, should that ever happen. And then we have our nail clippers over here. I like these ones. Are kind of like the plier style ones. They've got the little shield right there. It helps you to not take too much of the nail. I typically don't use that, so when you see me use it, you'll watch me move that up out of the way so I can go ahead and see what I'm, where I'm trimming. That's just my preference as a professional. I have, quite a bit of experience knowing about where to trim nails, and I see quite a few dogs whose nails are severely overgrown, so I have a good eye to know where, and lots of experience to know where to trim those nails. Now for nail files, you can go ahead, this is one I just got like at a dollar store, living my best life. Thought it was cute. So just when you use the nail trimmers, you're going to have still sharp edges, so you're going to want to buff those off so that when they jump up on your legs, it'll be a little smoother. That's why a lot of groomers use the Dremel. It keeps from having that, so they're not cutting you up when they go home. This one, you can use these, nothing wrong with these. They'll buff it off just fine. We'll go ahead and give you a little demo of that. I do recommend, if you are going to do this frequently at home for your pet, go ahead and invest in a metal one. They do make metal ones for pets. There's a couple companies that make them. Miller's Forge and Arturo come to mind first off for the metal ones, and they will just last you longer, especially when you're doing 16 to 20 nails at a sitting. So, and they're a little bit tougher than filing your own fingernails or toenails. So dog nails are a little bit more sturdy on that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get Miss Eleanor up here, and we will demonstrate some of these products for you and talk about them. So we've got Miss Eleanor up here. She is one that is sometimes known to be a runner, so I went ahead and got her secured with a grooming loop. This is just a safety loop. A lot of people don't understand it in the grooming world. They think it's rather mean. As you can see, it's just kind of helping like a collar to help her stay on the table and know so she doesn't fall off. In this case, she knows about tables, being a retired show dog. She just sometimes gets a wild hair and decides that she wants to go check out something. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to talk first about the nail trimmers. Like I said, you have this little shield here. I always move it up out of the way, squeeze it down, pull the lever, and they'll open up for you. Then you bring her foot up, a little hard to see, and then you would just trim. Her nails are pretty short, so we're not getting all up in there. Just really lightly, gently. Always trim like this. So you're going from bottom to top. You're not going to want to do side to side. This is a no. Side to side like this is going to squeeze there quick and be very uncomfortable. You are going to want to go top to bottom. Still going to squeeze, give a little pressure, be a little bit uncomfortable possibly, but much more comfortable for them. If you're not comfortable knowing where to trim, you can go ahead, put the little guard up, go till it hits the guard. It's only going to let you trim just a little bit, and go ahead and trim. Her nails, I'm not going to trim that. That would be too much for her, because like I say, I keep them pretty well maintained. My girls get their nails done weekly. So that is how you would use those. And then when you get done, you just take your file, just like you do your own nails, and you just kind of go ahead and file them down. She's kind of wondering what's going on. She hasn't had a hand file in forever. Typically I use the Dremel on them. It's just easier for me to kind of do it all at once. But like I say, if you're not comfortable with it, doing this at home, this will be a lot safer until you're comfortable with the whole process. If you want to try a Dremel, I recommend start with one of those smaller ones that are made for pets. They're just going to be to buff. A lot of people think that they're going to keep the nail short, move them back. I mean, maybe eventually, but it's going to be a very slow process with those. All right, so now we're going to do the paw balm. Let's see if I can get her little paw here so you can see it. Move this down a little bit. All right, so I'm going to get her kind of turned here. Sit. Good girl. kind of move this. So you're going to have her little paw in here. It's a little hard to see. See if I can get us situated. There we go. A little better. So like I said, this is the one we're going to use today, is the canine. I absolutely love this one right now. It is my favorite. But we'll go ahead and show the other ones. This is the marshmallow. This one's been well used, so it's a little bit melty in there. But it's a little bit oilier, I feel. I can't really see the shine on there. But it's just a little oilier, a little greasier. It takes a little longer, I feel, to absorb in. But overall, I've been very happy with that one. That one can take you a little bit longer to order, as I believe it comes from a company in Canada. So you have at least about a 2-week turnaround on that. The taro, like I said, it has the screw top. You can open it up, just like a giant little chopsticky, deal there. I like the screw top. It keeps the dogs from getting to it. This one works really well. You can just go ahead and put it on there. This you can find on Amazon, so you can usually get a fairly quick turnaround if you want to order this. There's lots of other paw balms out there. A big one that's been around forever is called Musher's Secret. That one is great for summer, and for winter it kind of leaves a little bit of a protective barrier. That one a lot of professionals use. So I went ahead and opened up the canine, and we're going to go ahead, get Miss L positioned again, so hopefully you can kind of see. And you just take, and oops, we're a little high there now. And you're just going to rub it on each little paw pad. And then when I get done, I usually just kind of massage it in for them. Give them a little foot massage. And I also check the little webbing in between their toes. You want to make sure that that's soft and supple too. That's part of, you want to give them a little paw massage, rubbing that in, getting that in there. If you feel like their nails are really dry or brittle, you can go ahead. I just use my finger, just put a little bit there on their nails, especially kind of down by the nail bed. So if you have a dog that has especially, you feel like those nails were especially dry when you were caring for them, you can go ahead and just kind of add a little bit of that. Carousel. And just go ahead and repeat the process. Just kind of rub it in. Now, some dogs have dew claws. Miss L does too. She does not have a little pad with her. Some dogs do. But you do want to check the dew claws in case they feel a little bit dry. And you might want to put a little bit of balm on those, just like you did their nails if you're feeling especially dry. And then you also want to check, they've got their little paw pad up a little bit higher here. Let me move this up so we can kind of get a better look there. A little hard to see on her with all the hair, but they've got the little paw pad up here. If you have a dog that doesn't have long hair, your shorter haired dogs, you can see it really easy. But you don't want to neglect that. Rather than get this in here on all the hair, if you have a short haired dog, you can just go ahead and go in and just put it right on there. I go ahead and put a little bit on my finger for my girls and just put it on that little pad up there. It's a little bit more of a controlled application. That way I don't have greasy puffs. So there we go. Right. So hopefully that was helpful, and you can go ahead and do the paw balm year round. That's something that helps in the summertime to keep those paws moist, especially when you're going out on that hot pavement. Just keeps them comfortable. And then in the winter, just like us, they get that dry skin too, so it helps keep those paws nice and supple and comfortable for them, so they don't have the dry, tight feet. So hopefully that was informative for you. I'll sit down. And we will see you on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the dog show that I went to, and it's super exciting. It's one of the more fun ones that has become kind of a destination event. So I am super excited to get to show you that. So until next time, we'll see you later.